I used to, well, like your Starbucks. Your Starbucks meetings.
Why? Starbucks.
Talking about when I started the Amazon meetup, how nobody showed.
Yeah.
Was the one that you were using, Curtis?
I think I have it up there already, on the stand. See it?
No.
Yes, yeah.
You how long?
Yeah, yeah. Put it back in. I was using this one.
There you go. Can you hear me? Okay, well today I don't need to share the screen. But yeah, today we're gonna talk about something pretty interesting. Like we've been talking about different parts of YouTube and the strategy that we have used to grow the channel. So we have learned what we are implementing right now. So the beginning was like very focused in the packaging, as you know. Yes, we're live. Well, the beginning was focusing on the packaging, then a little bit more into how to find titles, how to find ideas, videos. Then last week we talked. Do you remember what we talked about?
We talked a lot of the.
Politics.
Politics.
We talked about the 10 different, the
ideas.
4 A's, the
Uh-huh.
4 A's. We talked
Exactly.
about that.
Yes.
And 10 ways to implement it, to come out with topics and subject matters and titles.
Sorry, man. You're the goal. You know. So yeah, exactly. So last week we talked about ideas, how to come up with ideas, and today we're gonna talk about probably the next thing that is I think what really creates consistency and really create a community, because it's storytelling. It's one of the most important parts. Is how you tell stories, how you make them yourself. So I'm really excited. I know it's going to be a very interesting topic. We're going to have a very interesting conversation. Also, Carlos, you're here. Like, it really helps me because, for real, like, Carlos has been my mentor for like a long time, and especially storytelling. I feel it. I felt how much like I've learned about storytelling with Carlos that it really helps in everything in life. Knowing how to tell the stories, it's 100% the biggest.
Superpower.
It's a superpower. It's underestimated nowadays. I don't know how nobody's talking about it. I don't know how they're not teaching in school, because it's how powerful. Like you teach your kids through stories, and the world surround us is made out of stories. The most influential book in the world is a book of a lot of stories, the Bible. And then any other book that you see in the world, like explains the idea through stories. So yeah, I think that learning about that it's incredible. But yeah, before we get into the topic, we can like have a conversation. And last week we were pretty interesting. I don't know if you remember or you were here in the moment, but
I was physically here.
I remember for a part. We had some homework, right?
Yeah, homework.
Yes, sir. It was to find to research similar YouTube channels that we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that John, you shared my little video, that was really cool, Carlos. You're gonna be super proud when you see what John did,
Okay.
because it's the best first step to start a business in YouTube. John, I don't know. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
It's the example that you showed on the screen where you had the board where you put the thumbnails, right? So well, the first step is like how do we find the titles that work and the thumbnails that work, and so you instructed to go find people who do the same thing, and then use the criteria, like the last 8 videos, you take the average and then 2.5 times that average
Yes.
would be like the baseline, and then you go through and search what are the outliers.
Outliers.
And so I went and did that for four content creators. I found them, and I used the same board you did.
There you go. Perfect.
post it.
Do you want to show it to the screen, or if not, it's okay. If you want, we can show it to a live, we can show it to
I
people.
don't mind. It just looks like your board. I just found the software that does the same.
What software are you using?
I use Miro board because I used that in college.
Oh, Miro.
Miro board.
Very good.
And
Look at this. You want to see this, Carlos?
That's it.
That's
That's really good.
Yeah, the power banking. For other people in the stream, this is what you have to do if you want to start creating content in any platform. You have to analyze what's working. And this will give you an idea, okay, I have an idea, how do I want to show it to people? And this is amazing because then you can analyze what are they doing and then they replicate it. For example, pretty sure that we can find very similar thumbnails right here. Here you go, for example, you're not broken, this one over here. Isn't this similar to MasterChatGPT? So these are patterns. So if you want to do a video, you have an idea, the first video that you can do is having an idea that is contradictory or put something like this thumbnail right here, because you know that it's a pattern. Because these two guys are doing it. And this is the first step to define what you want to talk about. So good job, you know. That's the best step. The first step. So yeah, that's basically that's the first step, doing the research. Now, for the next week, the best idea would be you can keep doing research, do it with more channels, at least 4 more, and now put them in a spreadsheet as well. This time what you're gonna put is just the titles. And then you're gonna find the spreadsheet for each title. And then find what are the titles that repeat structures. For example, it took me 10 years, but these are the best advice that I could give to an Amazon seller. And then you see another channel that does, it took me 5 years, and this is the best advice that I can give to a insurance salesman. I don't know, you know what I mean? It took me 20 years, and this is the best advice I can give to someone who wants to a professional cyclist pro player, you know? So like, you find titles, because now you have thumbnails. Now, you have to find titles. Once you do the research, it will be the same week, find the 3 or 4 ideas that you want to go in, and base those ideas in the title. So once you do the spreadsheet, sir?
I'm sorry. And I hate to do this to you, and I don't want to interrupt, but
No, please, go
there was
ahead.
another channel that, because you said it was about telling stories, and
Yeah.
I thought this guy tells the story like in 2 words. His face is always in it, in the thumbnail.
Okay.
If you want to look at it, I don't know if it has bearing on what you're teaching here today, but I thought that, and I don't want to throw you off from where you're at.
No, not at all. That's why we're doing this. Specifically for this.
So the channel is Kendall Gray. Maybe, you know, it's sort of an outdoorsy kind of thing, but if you look at every single one of his, and he gets really good. He gets really good response and views.
I will have to. Well,
Unless you want to save it for the end.
Okay. Yeah. That's it. What's the name of the guy again?
Kendall, Kendall, Gray Vlogs. Kendall Gray
There you go.
Vlogs.
Okay. It's a huge tour, 4 million.
Because you said you want to tell stories. This guy tells a story in one.
He's good telling the story.
He tells a story in his thumbnail with his hook, and he happens to be very interesting to also view. He does cool stuff. He's got lots, huge amount of followers and
Yeah.
subscribers, and his videos get an enormous amount of views.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, do you see him?
Yes, I said we have it here,
Okay.
so we can look at it.
Yeah.
The thing is that I have to share the screen. I mean,
Yeah, you saved it for the end.
no, I mean, let's do it now because it's like the.
That's fine. It's up to you. I don't want to take you off your course.
No, but it's clear, Jim. Well, for next week, like where are the goals?
Yeah.
For the guy.
Kendall Gray Vlogs, the second one. Go back, the second one down. It's the same person, but
Well, both of them are
Yeah.
huge channels.
if you look at every single one of his thumbnails, it just has like 2 words in it, but God, people just eat that thing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it is interesting. He's interesting to watch, but he's got every single one is essentially the same. It's his face.
Yes. I mean, I guess you probably really know him.
I've watched him before. He's like I said, he's interesting to watch.
Yeah.
But he tells, I believe he tells the story in his thumbnail. You said it's all about telling stories.
That's right. But yeah, the stories at the end of the day is everything. Look, like it's about how you tell a story in a thumbnail to how you express that idea into 60 minutes. Because getting people engaged for 26 minutes is not easy. And if you really want to do it, you have to know how to keep attention, how to keep them interested in what you're talking about. So it's not easy at all. But yeah, like.
I mean, the guy owns a pond.
Yeah, I mean, he's got good resources.
That looks cool.
The guys own what?
He owns a pond. It looks like he owns like acres and acres.
Oh yeah.
It looks like a lot of
He's
pond.
somewhere in Kentucky where the land's cheap and,
Oh, it's his pond. He does everything in his own land.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
wow.
freedom right there, right?
But it does, I think that translates to a lot of other situations.
Wow, yeah, that would be pretty cool having a pond like that.
You could swim across it, Moises.
I would be careful with that. I don't wanna.
But I was sort of researching it for today because he gets so many views and he has so many subscribers. He's definitely got it down.
Yeah. And it's incredible that 5 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, like he's constantly posting on both of his channels. Like in this one and the other one, he's posting a lot too. 2 weeks.
I seen that video.
It's definitely a niche, right? There's a niche market in there.
Yeah, he's got over 4 million subscribers.
He's more entertaining though.
He's entertaining.
This is entertaining.
Yeah.
This is 100%.
He's likable.
He's likable,
Yeah.
entertaining. Yeah, because that's what you need to be entertaining. To do entertainment, you need to be likable. I mean, whoever is gonna watch this video,
But he never comes off as professional. He comes off as a regular person.
yeah. I mean,
The thumbnails are cool too.
yes. They're type B services style at the time. Yeah, you can tell, like, for example, that one, the shark. So
But do you-
like,
do you-
fish
do you-
might click, but also a kid might click as well, just because
But
it's cool.
but do you think that he tells a story in each one of his thumbnails when with his title? I mean, he tells you what he's, I mean, he both visually and
Yes.
verbally.
Yes, 100%. representing that he's giving you a hint, like a hint of what's going to be the video about through the thumbnail.
Oh, you
He keeps the rule of the three things that you don't have.
But you know, like, look at the use of the arrows that he uses too, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean, he tries to make it as simple as possible for someone to figure out what's happening.
And at this point from him, he probably doesn't do his own thumbnails, probably has people in his team. But if he does his own thumbnails, like, at this point, it's a matter of you just see and you know what people is gonna click, you know? They probably test it, 100% they test it. But yeah, as easy as possible, and
I don't even watch these. I only watch like the other his Kendall Gray vlogs. I don't even watch this one. I don't watch it a lot, but when it comes on, I'll click on it because he's interesting.
You guys want coffee? I'm gonna make some coffee. The Cuban
I'm
coffee.
okay, Carlos. Thank you. I'm okay.
Cuban coffee?
Cuban coffee is always a good idea.
I'll make sure to make yours with stevia.
Oh, bro, you do. You know, yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing.
Again, I hope it pertains to what you're trying to show.
Yes. I mean, today we're gonna talk specifically about storytelling, like how to tell stories. What's it's pretty simple though, but like what we try to do to tell stories in a video. But you know, the first part is I was just talking about whatever we want to talk about, any curiosities that we've seen or hear or questions, whatever. So I don't know, Royce, if you want to join, but we have a challenge in the group right now, and it's every week we're gonna try to get closer to start our YouTube channel. So every week, like we research.
Yeah.
Next week we like ideate. Next week we write. Then we record and like that.
Are you teaching in that sequence? Kind of?
I started, yes. I think that we thought, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't do it on purpose. But yeah, all the first videos were all thumbnails. And I've been talking about different parts of YouTube.
Hey, John, I'm curious, have you traveled in the last week or two? Have you gone to any unusual places?
No.
Oh.
For YouTube?
No, for YouTube.
Oh,
You know,
so
to
I
record-
decided to go a different route,
Oh, you have?
Mhm.
because to me, that's like more of a hobby,
Right.
and I think I have to do something better, and that's more of a business aspect
Okay.
than the hobby.
Understood.
And I think I'll be setting up high barriers for what I'm doing, recording, going out,
It's
and
hard.
it's not something I have control recording like in one place in the studio, like.
Excuse me, your mic is not working.
Oh my God, my mic is
Yeah,
working?
sorry, John.
Yeah.
No, thanks. Oh, that's weird.
John, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, maybe I'm not very. No, just that.
Maybe I can
that,
use this one.
Yeah, I had two options, and the one about exploring is more of a hobby,
Right.
trying to force it into a business aspect. And so I could still do that, but I don't have to worry about it. I could just go out, take a video and post it. And whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? Just to share it. If people find it, they find it great. And I don't have to overthink it. Not at this point anyways.
No, the best thing is to start.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of work, but yeah, once you start, it's like that flywheel that we talked last week. At the beginning, it's hard, but then it gets easier and easier and easier, and it's like that in life as it is in business.
Yeah.
So, what's the round that you wanna go now? Are you like to share? You have an idea?
It's about stressed out business owners
Mm-hmm.
who are early in their journey,
Mm.
because that's what I was. And so the biggest pain point for them is they're stressed out and overwhelmed
Mm.
because they're not organized. They don't have systems and processes in place.
That's really good. So, organizing like organize their company, organize their life, organize.
Organizing the four basic aspects of the business. which is getting customers, converting those customers, fulfilling that product or service, and keeping the customer.
Keeping the
Those are the four basic things. And the majority of business owners at the beginning, whether you sell a store, a shop, whatever they do, they don't have a process. They go in every day and they're just playing it by ear.
100%, like
Yeah.
surviving,
Yeah,
going
and
day
they're
by
stressed-
day.
Yeah, and they're stressed out, right?
That's so
And
hard.
They basically have a job and they drive them so crazy. And so, yeah.
That's right, you have no vacation, you have a boss that is crazy.
Yeah. And they don't know why, and it's because because they're working in the business, they have a job. And so, more often than not, if they don't have that capability, they need somebody to kind of do it for them.
Mm.
To kind of go into the business and say, okay, da, 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 da. Focus on this. And then it frees up their time.
And that's when they understand.
Yeah.
That's when like they grow, right?
I don't want to go off topic, but like most business owners, like if you ask them the basic information,
Excuse me.
yeah, if you ask the basic information about like okay, what's your business address? What are all your social media accounts that you have? What's your DUNS number? What's your business partner number? What's your LLC? What's your this? It's in a million different places.
They have no idea.
One page. This is one thing that will change their life. On one page. So if they go for grants, go for anything, everything they have on one page. That alone, they could look at them and be like, oh my gosh, I know all the apps I know all this, and it's right there. And no, it's no longer in their brain.
It's not like in their brain.
Now they start to have a business.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Wow. That takes a lot of.
But it's simple. That's not. This is like one PDF.
It's one PDF.
You
Yeah.
probably don't have. Even like the most basic, like they usually don't have.
No. Wow.
And the pain of getting all that information. We went to a tangent. Go ahead. But like something simple like that changed my. I'm filling out applications for grants, for this, for that, for this, for this, and it's like. My reseller, when your business, you don't have to pay taxes because you have
Expenses and stuff.
Well, because you have that certificate, you're
Mhm.
exempt.
Yeah.
So you have your own number for that. It's like people don't have this information in one spot, and it's information you need.
So
What's your
they're paying-
NAICS code?
Mm.
Do you know what that is? Like it's
Like
the
you
code,
pay for the.
your code for what type of business you operate.
Uh-huh.
But you need this information, and it's not in one place.
Wow. It's easy to drive crazy because the problem is that, people in the life might struggle with the same thing. You're trying to have a business, try to improve, but you don't know where to start because everything is so unorganized. Your
Yeah.
finances, your money is coming. Where are you putting your money?
Yeah.
Like, where is your money going?
Yeah.
How are you spending your money? Is there any way you can save more? Is there any way you can improve, automate the stuff? Like,
And that one can get fixed in less than 30 minutes.
wow.
Less than 30 minutes, and you never worry again.
Wow, imagine the ROI in those 30 minutes that you invest just organizing that page with all the important information on your business.
And you never do it again.
Wow. What did it take to you to find that?
I sat with somebody else, like I'm speaking with you, or Carlos in the e-com channel, and I got to a place where I was like, bro, I'm crazy. And I found somebody online.
Mm-hmm.
They helped me with the finance part. But then I figured out the other part about the information about my business. It's like, I don't even know what it is. And like, why I keep doing the same thing over and over? Why not just put it on
So it took you go deep down to be able to learn all this
Yeah.
and grow.
Yeah. And then when I sold my business, the guy was like, oh my gosh, he's like, you have no idea. It's like the people he buys businesses from, they don't have this information. It's like they take days to pull the information. I gave it to him in 2 seconds.
So
Because you need it. You need to give them all your social media handles. Like, man.
wow, so they could see all of that, and
Yeah, because you're selling your business. And so like,
Wow.
I had all my pictures in one folder of the documents of the assets, which you guys do.
Mm.
You guys probably do in your business. You're organized.
Yes, we have. We try to be as organized as
Because
we
you're a
can.
business, right? You're a real business.
But we can always be more organized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my dad always told me, everything that is good could be better. But yeah, it's not easy though. Like I do have a lot of things organized, but sometimes I'm like, yo, you gotta have more organization.
Yeah.
Because
Well, you don't want to be perfect because
Mm.
perfect is
impossible.
impossible, and you don't want to waste too much unnecessary.
Yeah. You know what happened? Like for me, that happened also when I like at some point I was like using Notion and everything to like trying to do everything super organized and like keep track of the tasks that I'm doing, the projects that I'm working on. But at the end of the day, like I realized the easy thing for me is just have a document, a Google Doc, just a Google Doc, with everything I have to do. That's it. That's it. Just one document where I put my goals and the things I have to do, and I just click, delete, click, delete,
Yeah.
click, delete.
Yep.
And I don't have to do more reports like to me and anything. I just go like that. Like sometimes the simple the better,
Simple.
but organized, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's pretty interesting for real. Yeah, I would love to hear a podcast with you or Carlos, like talking about this type of things. That would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, maybe.
No, for real.
I would lean more towards Carlos because, you know, he's not only done it himself, but he knows how to lead others, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I would let him talk. I wouldn't.
No, I'm pretty sure that you guys.
I can offer my experience. Because, like, Tom too, right? These guys are.
Mr. Tom, welcome.
Hey, sorry about that.
The big
You know,
Tom.
every time they pulled me aside, I'm sorry, bro, I want to come in. This is like 3 weeks in a row. First it was Tim.
Don't worry, bro. Come on, you're good. You're good.
Because of that, because they know, like that's the price you pay for being experienced.
That's right. When people is asking you and you are able to help people, like I think that's the best. That's the best feeling right there. That's the best feeling, and also it's a sign that you're doing the right thing, you know. Because yeah, I think it's a sign. Like for example, like I would definitely come to you and tell you, hey, what can you recommend me to be more organized? And if people ask you that, that's a sign that that's what you should be talking about in a YouTube channel. And you know, like that's amazing. Like for example, Tom is just starting his YouTube channel, and that's amazing. That's gonna be so good. I'm super sure of that, because Tom is an expert in everything with finances and managing your money and increasing your net worth and like investing correctly, you know. So like, if he give free advice to people online, how many people don't need that information? Like, I was listening to a podcast with Charlie Kirk and like the iced coffee hour, and they were talking about how important it's financial education, literacy, like just the most basic information, and people don't have that. People don't have that.
I'll never forget this. So, a baseball player got his first contract. So he got signed out of college.
Can you, sorry, can you share so people in the live can hear? Tom is gonna share a story about one of his.
Just a quick finance story, because I think
Finance.
financial literacy is so important. So this baseball player, I won't tell you his name, but he ended up playing AAA with the Cincinnati Reds. But when he got drafted, he got $100,000.
Wow.
So he comes to me and he goes, Tom, you know, what's your minimum? And I said, well, the minimum is you have to be nice. Like, I'm not, like, you don't have to have millions to work with me, but you just have to be nice. And he was a very nice guy. So he's like, all right. And so I was grateful, because I know that I will take good care of him. Because, and unfortunately, in most industries, including the financial industry, sometimes you get with advisors that just want to make the most commission out of it and not really do the right thing.
Right.
So I was grateful that I was able to give him the right advice and do the right thing for him. And I'll never forget this. He sits there and he pulls out a blue little checkbook, and he opens up the checkbook, and I swear you could hear it creak open. It was so new, it creaked open, and then the first page creaked open, and then the second page creaked open, and then he looked at me and he said, with this look that I knew what the look was. He's like, how do I write out a check? He had never written a check before. So I was like, no worries. But here is someone who's been through college.
And for context, this is when checks were like a thing, like.
This is 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Oh.
This is 3 years ago. This is not when this is not 35 years ago. This is 3 years ago.
Wow.
So he was going to deposit his check at my firm to open up a bank account, but had no idea how to write a check. So he'd never written a check before. So that speaks to financial literacy about how we take so many things for granted in the financial world, but then you have someone that just got a hold of $100,000 and doesn't know how to transfer that $100,000 from his bank account to me in the form of a check.
Wow.
I've never written one out before. So you can understand the possibilities of how someone could take advantage of someone like that. So it's often that I find that people in the financial world either don't know it, but then they open themselves up to predators. So financial literacy is so important on so many levels, not only to protect yourself, but know what you're doing. But also, those predators are pretty crazy. So
That's right.
The creaking of the opening of the check will be something I will,
Yeah.
There's pictures in your mind, you'll remember the rest of your life. So.
That's right. We're very lucky to have a financial advisor right here, like teaching us those things, because, not every day you get people to tell you like the truth of the business. Like, hey, there's people right there that they don't want the best; they just want to make the best commission out of you. And that coming from a financial advisor, that's something. So. Why we get into this topic? Because we were talking, you need to talk in your YouTube video about those things that that you can help people, that you can be a guide, or that you're interested in and you want to explore and share what you're exploring to people. For example, I love content creation. Am I an expert? No. But I'm going to be an expert? Yes, because I want to be. So I'm learning, and what I'm doing, I'm learning and sharing what I'm learning. So you don't have to be an expert like Tom is in investments, like you are in organization, but as long as you like this and as long as you're committed to find the truth, start talking about that. And if people is asking you about these topics, that's the best sign to start doing content right now. Start doing content, start recording yourself. What are you doing if you're not recording yourself? Like you're literally doing this, you're not letting people look at you. Nowadays, it doesn't matter who you know. It matters who can see you. Like McDonald's, they always have the sign. They don't put it in the door, they put it high. So people on the cars, they can see the sign of McDonald's. It matters who can see you. So for the 4 people that is watching the stream right now, my friends, comment. What are the things that you like? It doesn't matter if you're an expert or not. And next week, when you come back to the live, tell me what would you like to talk about it, and give me, 2, 3, 4, as John did, creators that are talking about similar things. Because that's the first step. Identify what you want to talk about and put a date. I'm going to start doing this X and make it.
And what you brought up before, so my son, he edits videos now, anime videos, and he puts them on TikTok. And he's still learning, he's very into it. And so I said, you should record your videos because we've been talking about it. He's like, oh, but I'm not good enough yet. But he's comparing himself to the professional editors, which can confuse a lot of people who are just beginning like he is. And I'm like, there's little kids that are younger than him, he's 15, that might need his pace.
Yes.
And watch him doing it. And I'm like, just record your videos and just say, hey, I'm learning how to edit videos. I'm still learning, and this is the process, and people can watch the process.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Do you know why Sesame Street and shows that feature kids are so popular with kids? Do you know why? They relate because there's other, if you ever watch a little kid watching Sesame Street, his eyes will light up. Not when Elmo's on TV, but when another baby or kid comes into the screen with Elmo, because he wants to see that other kid, because he really wants to be on that screen too. So what you're describing there is exactly that. There are other 15-year-old kids, in my opinion, that want to do what your son is doing. So that's his audience.
Yeah.
Right.
Those other 15-year-old kids aren't looking at some expert ESPN analyst that's got some Mac Daddy software and thousands of dollars in editing software and a team doing all this for him. He wants to learn and stumble along with your son at the same time. Stay tuned next week and I'll tell you how I figured this out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's the audience he goes to, because you're trying to attract people that have the same interests as you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
That's pretty good. Also, yes, they relate, but you are documenting your process.
Yeah.
When we went to Idaho to Craft and Commerce, one of the main things that I took from that convention was build in public. Build in public. That's like, here we have an example. Wizards of Ecom started years ago, and it built in public. And it creates credibility. So imagine your son, 15 years old. If he creates content during 5 years, the favorite drink of Tom's favorite drink, coffee.
That's smart.
I almost threw up right there.
Wow, guys, look at this. Coffee made by Carlos.
In Miami, this is the only thing that can stop.
The Wizards of
stop a
Ecom.
business, then it is trash.
The Wizards of Econ coffee. Smells really good, man. This is Cuban, American Cuban coffee right there. Oof. No! It's okay.
It's hot.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jimmy.
Let's see if anyone left my little water.
Nope.
Oh my gosh. So good.
And in addition to that, Moises,
I got it. Thank you.
also like we learned here with you and with Carlos, somebody might hop on the chat and be like, hey, there's an easier way to do that.
Yes.
You know, my son's struggling, like, hey, there's an easy way to do it, and then now he's learning too from the viewers as well.
Mm-hmm. It's all about how you tell your story. Where if you're building public and tell your story, it's just a matter of how you tell your story. Of course, if you're starting, you just starting and you say, oh, I'm an expert on this, you're not gonna have credibility. But if you're just starting and you say, hey guys, I want you to be part of the biggest story of transformation, and I want you all to be part of this and do it with me. Let's go every week. I'm gonna be posting what I'm learning, and you can share with me in the comments what you're learning too, and we learn together. So you create a community, you create response, and then comes again the story that you're building. That's what matters the most. What story are you doing? That's what we're looking for. And people, the world is aiming for original creators, for original people. So yeah, guys, whatever we're doing, I'm super happy that in this room right now, we're people, that is committed to do this for real, Like Tom is just starting, like Tom has very good videos. I've seen Carlos, a content creator for years. You're gonna start your YouTube channel, like I'm doing it too. So we have to keep that in mind, and everybody in the Zoom, in the live as well. Like tell your story, create content, go live, make a video, go and talk whatever you really like. Like Gary Vee's been telling this for years, but you can make a lot of money talking about what you like. That's not a job. That's a dream.
So Moises, I'm at the crossroads of scripting, recording, getting an editor, and I'm trying to find a stride. Like I'm trying to find like a rhythm. And I think you and I talked about it the other day, and I was like, well, you're going to do 4 scripts, 4 recordings, and I kind of was like, well, I need to slow down and maybe just do 2. And not that I want to slow down, but I want to do 2 because I want you guys to see them, and for me to understand what did I do right and what did I do wrong, so that I don't have to go back and do 4 over again, right? You know, so, and getting that right cadence of it. Because, yeah, that's just, I mean, I just want to know your thoughts on that, because I want to get up to doing 4 a month, but I just think if I did 2 and then 2, before I even broadcast them, put them out there, I don't know, that's just where my head goes. Not just because of time, but also, there's a process in all of this, and so I know I'm gonna be able to batch process 4 just as easily as I can batch process 2 and record. Then it's up to the editor to work his magic and make me look pretty, right?
Yes.
It's up to him.
As long as you find a good editor and you communicate, and you're gonna be honest, also the first 3-4 videos are gonna be tough. Like every time I work with a new editor, like the first 3 to 4 videos are kind of hard. But then he understands you perfectly. He knows what you like, what you don't like, because you'll be talking to him. And once that, it's a matter of just sending your video and waiting it to be back.
My question comes with this, like, I personally don't like a lot of talking head video. I like video with B-roll or video with somebody showing me numbers or something like that on screen. And then I've seen other videos where I don't like the fact that I don't see anybody on screen. Have you found, like, how much guidance do you give your editor in terms of, like, what you want on screen and what you don't on screen?
Yes.
You've also got to take into account that, one, I don't really know what works.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, I don't really know what the best practice would be yet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I've seen your videos where you have text that comes up all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and then there'll be some B-roll in there.
Yes.
And sometimes there's a lot of B-roll, and sometimes there's not. We saw the other guy the other day that was, he's like a CPA, and he talks with a complete gray background, and then it's just him narrating.
Yes.
Like numbers on, like a graph.
Yes, that's his style. Yeah.
I get it, but like, what's the is there a,
Yeah.
is that up to your editor? Is that up to you? Like, how much of the lift do you do that yourself? What is that?
That's an interesting question.
That. Can you throw it to Carlos, please? Thank you.
Well, that comes down to pattern banking in the beginning. Some of these other people that have a style, most of them that had a style that wasn't used by anyone else, most of them failed. Like 99% of them failed. Maybe a little over 99%. But to start, you're looking at what's working for everybody else, and the idea is to model that as closely as possible to get it to work. And then you're communicating, this is what you want to do with your editor. So if that's whatever split that's there. The other one is, depending on the video, there's hooks that we all know about, and Moises has covered a few times. But Moises has covered visual hooks and how to write a hook. I'm sorry, he's covered written hooks and verbal hooks, not visual hooks.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the, I don't know this person's video with the graphs and how they do this narration thing, but if they have created something that acts as a powerful hook and it's visual, that's actually a lot more advanced for somebody who's just starting off.
Yeah.
Like, if you look up on YouTube, the guy, I like to do it because this is the simplest way to do it. But if you look up on YouTube, I quit eating sugar.
Oh yeah.
I think it's I quit eating sugar for a month, or I quit eating sugar, should pull it up. And then look for the pink donut. It usually comes up on the first page, but if you... There you go. This guy's a master at visual hooks that's not cinematography and fancy movement. This is just camera framing.
Oh, no. Yeah,
That's a style. It looks so simple until you try to do it. And then when you look in the background, what this guy does, this guy's like a pro. That's a visual, like how that started. He's also using none of his own B-roll, but he's a fantastic storyteller using visual storytelling.
Yeah.
If you have that as a skill, then do it. But for most people, they either never get there, or it's a very advanced thing to do.
Yeah, he's an amazing storyteller. He incorporates both things what Carlos mentioned. Visual hooks, verbal hooks,
and then storytelling, which is what we're gonna talk today, storytelling. But yeah, I think that for what you said, like if you should decide if you should go, what to decide what to put in the camera, if only text, only you, only audio and B-roll of others or B-roll of you, that's not on your editor, that's on you.
Yeah.
That's completely on you. You have to do power banking, which is exactly what John was doing, like find. Can you show it to Tom what you were doing? Because Tom, you have done it too. The power banking. You have to find what are the type of videos that you want to do, and show those examples to your editor. That's what I did. I found a lot of videos. Like I watched a lot of videos, and that will help you understand what you want to have in your video, and then communicate that with your editor. But at the end of the day, yeah. So find the type of videos that you want to do, find what's the style that you want to do, and show that to your editor, and then you create your own style, but based on things that work. I will never get tired of saying this, based on things that are already working, because you don't want to waste your time.
Okay, so I get the thumbnail, got it, we're understanding that. Where I'm stuck is, I know my scripts, I've written my scripts, but I don't know what B-roll to tell my editor to get. I can give them examples, and then kind of like, that's where I'm stuck. Like,
Okay.
If it's just B-roll, I would give them some free reign and show them some examples of stuff that you
Okay, that's where I'm stuck.
Yeah, give them examples of what you sort of like and give them free reign. Just understand B-roll is not cinematography, like motion graphics.
Yeah.
And regular B-roll is totally different.
Yeah.
Well, there are some graphics that I've seen people do too, that look really cool, especially in the finance space.
Those are harder though. Like at
It's
the,
much harder, and it's probably somebody that's not your video editor.
yeah. At the beginning, I was like, hey, I want to do this graph, and I want to do this, and like make a chest, like I'm putting the camera from here, and I was like, your editor is not going to do that. Like that's a motion graphics. That's someone like a graphic designer.
Do you remember the girl that I showed you that had like, she all of a sudden brought up like 6 things that were like 6
Yes,
squares?
that's something that your editor can do.
Editor can do that.
That he can do that.
Okay.
When
The-
you're talking about the B-roll, is it telling the story?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that goes to the quality of the editor, I don't know.
Usually B-roll, the goal is to tell good enough of a story, because it's not, ideally, B-roll of you in all of those situations works. But you don't have that, that's very difficult to put together. You're a video person, you need all that. You might need to be comfortable on camera, there's like a lot of variables there. But absent that, your B-roll should be good enough. And usually B-roll acts as just an interrupt, so you're looking at something different.
Yeah, like I tell my editor, in this part, put these words, in this part, like put this, put the logo.
Like, yeah, we've tried interrupts. So an interrupt every 7, 5, and 3 seconds. An interrupt every 3 seconds is what worked. And I'm willing to bet that an interrupt every 2 seconds is probably what's gonna work. So that interrupt can be
A change.
panning of the camera, something scrolling on the screen, a rabbit running across the bottom, I mean, whatever. But something,
This is what I was trying to get at, like how often, like when I do those videos with Alex, me talking and then a B-roll, I liked. We did some where I didn't have my face on it at all, but we were doing different things with our hands. I mean, it was more of an aerial shot, and I didn't care for them that much, because I don't think it told the story as well as face, B-roll, and everything else. So I don't know, I guess I just.
Yeah.
So every 7 seconds, you think, Carlos?
sorry,
Every 7 seconds, something needs to come in there?
a minimum of every 7 seconds, 5 seconds. Were you there when we went over this? 5 seconds is 150 to 200% better. 3 seconds is the same thing, better than 5 seconds. And my gut tells me 2 is even better, but I've not tested it.
So what happens
So
if
every
you-
3 seconds.
So what happens if you had, I'm gonna call it a graph on the screen, but then you had something affect the graph on the screen every 3 seconds, does that count?
It could, it could, but I would say zooming in and zooming out would probably be a good mix.
That's what, okay.
I don't see the
Is that
same
what you're-
thing.
Is that what you're saying, is counting is 3 seconds, like, is that what you mean by it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you have something that's climbing as you're telling the story, and it's just a green line climbing, kind of showing up, after a couple seconds, that becomes that's normal. There's no interrupt anymore, that's just, this thing's moving up, it's obvious that it's moving up. But if it shoots down,
That's where you want to put it.
it's like, oh, that would act as an interrupt. But it needs to break whatever it's doing
Right.
every 3 seconds. But if you get an editor, and he puts together a video that looks good, and you timed it all the way through, and you're like, no, that's 9 seconds, I wouldn't redo it. I would it's more of like a goal we're kind of trying to shoot for, absent something else that makes sense.
Yeah, and the better hook that you have, if you have a very good hook, the better your hook is, the less those type of things matter.
Right, the better the title, the better the thumbnail, the better the story, the less quality, the rest of that matters.
Yes.
And I was talking to Moises the other day, and I was like, I'm telling you what, I would put up at the top, editor. The editor is so freaking important.
Yeah, but like,
I would almost, I mean, I know you need some of watch your videos, so the thumbnail's gotta be great, title's gotta be good. But if your editing sucks, if you're not doing, you're gonna lose the
In the
audience.
film industry, editing is
It's, I mean, the stuff that Alex has done for me, I mean, my videos weren't hard. But what he did to those videos, editing wise, made it spectacular. You know?
that makes sense. Yeah, they're spectacular.
editing tells a story.
Yes.
Yeah, it helps, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it probably tells the story better than you're telling it.
Yes, but I've seen people with amazing edits in their videos. Bad storytelling, it's not worth it. Like, I wouldn't put editor on top of thumbnail, title, storytelling, writing skills. Like, I would put it after storytelling, 100%.
What?
Yeah.
Like,
Editing?
yeah,
Talking about Alex or just in general?
in general. Like, I think editing is the most important thing after title, hook, title and thumbnail, hook, storytelling.
After packaging, which is title, thumbnail, hook. Because nothing inside the video matters if it doesn't get clicked.
Yes, that's the most important
Everything's
thing.
covered in click, so after
After
packaging,
that,
that's packaging.
yes, then storytelling, I would say, storytelling, and then editing.
I would give a caveat, so you guys seen those videos to where someone just takes what you say, like a boring thing, and just out of an edit, you're making a song, you're creating a new story.
Mm-hmm.
So, editing can do wonders, but.
I think they go hand in hand, because look, if you have a great story, your editor can mess it up by editing it wrong.
Uh-huh.
And if you have a mediocre story, your editor might be able to jazz it up with some great editing. So I think editing is storytelling, but like it's like digital storytelling.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I think they go together,
They do go
100%.
together. You can have something really great and mangle it.
Yes.
And YouTube is long form, what I'm talking about is usually the short form. They can
I
get
mean, that just goes for clipping, right? That's what a lot of people are doing, is they're taking that's another thing I wanted to ask, right? So in your YouTube video, are you clipping it to make shorts in your long form?
You talking about using clippers or
Just, I mean, I guess the real question I have is, in your long form YouTube video, are you purposely putting in spots in there that could be clipped to make shorts?
no? Currently, that's not. That's a goal in the workflow. I think that's something that's worth doing, but I think there's so many other things that are a greater priority that once I get past them, then I would do it. Where I see myself doing it quicker is going to be with the podcast. And that's because it's more of an audio format first, and it's heavily structured. But scripting's already so challenging for long form YouTube that adding an extra, making sure this is a great spot to start and end a clip right now would just be beyond what. Now, if I was creating a search-based YouTube channel, I would 100% do that from the beginning.
Yeah. But the question Hani had also with the storytelling that we're gonna talk today, because if you're trying to structure your video and you have 3 points, for example, every point should have a hook and then a payoff of the point. And then that should lead to the next point or the end of the video. So basically, when you finish your video, you should have many like videos, like short videos. So you could record it at the beginning and end of each point.
Right.
But again, it's easier. It's easier said than done. That part.
Yeah, I'm toying with the idea.
That's a goal.
Of like putting one, like, anchor one in there that I know would be a short. Just
Yeah.
Just,
Huh?
Yours are short already, though.
well, those are just shorts.
Yeah.
We're talking about YouTube, that'll be longer videos, it'll be like 9 minutes, 10
Right.
minutes.
I'm working on I'm really trying to focus my content creation efforts to where I'm doing one bit of work that can lead to a lot, and not just repurposing it and recutting it. And I feel like I'm close to it, like I'm gonna start sketching it out, but if I did it, I think it would allow me to do what you're saying. And what it is, say Toastmasters during the week is turning out to be very valuable for me in the sense of there's an idea that I wanna do in a meetup, or there's an idea I wanna do in a YouTube video. And normally I need to put this together, I need to do the packaging, and then I need to go out here and ask everybody, what do you think based on just my thumbnail? I could get real-time feedback every week in Toastmasters, and I can just go into Toastmasters and do it. So what I'm doing is I'll present on something, I'll get a whole bunch of feedback of what they thought, and it's helping me a lot into the next wave. So I'm getting like a free focus group, and if I'm trying to appeal to a beginner on a topic, Toastmasters is even better because all these people are beginners. Once I get that, I probably have a recording, because I'm able to record myself of it. It's very easy to go from that to a podcast, deliver it again in a podcast, which allows me to warm it up again. So now I've delivered it twice, so a lot of the guessing's out of it. Then I would consider going and doing it for a meetup. So now I'm really warm. Then a YouTube video, and by that time, I know what questions to get ahead of.
Mm-hmm.
And those are probably gonna be the good shorts. So like, I'm hoping there's something there because I'd love to say, here, one topic that I'd like to create on and have a steady flow of a way to deliver it and get better at it and better at it. So by the time I put in all the effort and editing for YouTube, it's done.
Wow. That's pretty good. We're gonna start trying that.
Factoring in an email newsletter.
And short content.
Sure.
And short content.
You don't think
Short content's a bit of a pain in the ass, but yes.
You don't think that in your videos right now, you could embed in your script writing one question, you could double as a short?
For real? What do you mean, sorry?
So, for example, your video that you just did up there,
Mm-hmm.
don't you think in your script writing, you can embed one question that will double as a short?
Oh yes, I actually add 3 questions. Each point, I add a question, and then I set up for the question, for that point.
I suggest that to my pastors in their sermon, just incorporate
I think you'd say.
I add it,
Have
I
you ever
add.
asked yourself, like, is this stuff really possible?
Yes.
Right? And then you can, that's a
Yes.
hook for your
Yes.
video, but it's also a hook for the short.
Yes. I say things like, for example, and if you, like in the middle of the video, and if you really want to start making X amount, like you have to do this next thing. But how do you do that? And then you keep going.
So I mean,
So it could be like, we're getting ready to that. We're getting ready. Right now, it's just such a lot of work that we have to spend in YouTube that we don't have the bandwidth, you know, to like also do the shorts and take care of that. But like, it's definitely something that we would like to do in the future when the moment. By the way, you guys in the live can see this, but Carlos has his kid in his legs, and it's like a time machine. Bro, like I see Carlos, and then I see Carlitos, and wow, you guys look super similar. It's fun. But yeah, at the end of the day, everything that we're talking about is storytelling. So how do you make a video of 12 minutes, keep people looking at you for 12 minutes, and also recommending and also like listening to you? The only way you can do that is if you are a good storyteller.
You know what I really just like on YouTube videos? When the speaker, or narrator, says, stick around to the end so I can, so you can learn what the most important thing is.
Do you like that or you don't like that?
I don't like
I don't
that.
like
So you know what I do? I automatically go to the end, immediately go to the end.
Yes.
See, that's the payoff, right?
I do it too.
I think it's a lazy, I think it's like rooted in laziness.
I think so too. That's when it comes
I
off.
said it too, 'cause at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is get them to stay to the end. So you said that to dangle something at the end. In reality, you had a great hook and you were really good at storytelling, guess what they're gonna do?
Yeah.
They're gonna stay to the end.
You don't have to say
So
that.
it's like,
In the movie business, they call it on the nose. It's like, you're showing it straight up.
right, so like, I've done that a bunch, like, to say at the end, but every time I do it, it feels.
Yeah.
It feels like you have we were talking about that when the Leaves and Soul name came about, Lisa came up with that name, but we were initially looking at like different names for, and I'm saying yours because you're open about it. We were like, Bonsai Life, Bonsai.
East Jade Bonsai.
Right.
Like,
And it's like, if you have to say the name bonsai in it,
Yeah.
it's like rooted in laziness, like, you should be able to create something that someone sees.
And really wants to.
And really like, that communicates it without having to say it. You have to say it, kind of like, so it's like rooted in laziness. You had to come up with a quick word, oh my God, thank God, a two-word domain that had the name bonsai in it was available. I think it's different for a content site, because you want it to be clear what the content is about, and that's hooked on. But I agree, like, when you have to say that, you're basically also taking a cop out on the quality of the
do you
story.
have a name on your channel?
Because, I clicked on it for a reason, because it looked like an interesting video. And then almost immediately,
I
they
have
sort
mine.
of,
I want to share it.
I lost interest because they said that. Now, I will go to the end to see, and I can generally find it almost exactly. I'll go like 30 seconds left, and that's when they're going to tell you.
Yes.
Did I tell you I settled on
Like,
my-
stay to the second 10:59. I'll tell you. There you go.
What?
Hopefully it's your name,
Finance guy?
Well, it was
the
my
finance guy.
My name is in there.
Tom Money Maze.
Maze.
Tom Money Maze.
Okay, so going on, whatever, it's gonna be great, I mean, any
So
name
that's,
works.
but I
But
got
what-
all of them for all the socials, and they all had it.
Right, but you needed to put money in there. In reality, isn't somebody gonna know Tom Mays is about money 10 seconds into the video? It's almost, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like because you're so close to it, and again, I do the same thing, there was a need to force money in there. You have more credentials than everyone you spoke to in that space.
But,
You're a good storyteller and everything. You don't need to put the word money in there.
but believe it or not, Tom Mays has been taken.
What about Thomas Mays?
Taken.
About Tom, his money.
How about the real Tom Mays?
Okay, I'm just,
I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it. It's got a nice ring to it.
Torn Maze
But
official.
it goes into
I
what we're
thought
saying.
it was pretty freaking fun. I don't know.
I think it is. I think it's got
The
a nice
Torn
ring to
Maze.
it.
Yeah,
It's
because
just,
ring matters a lot
the
too.
ring does. It rolls on. It's memorable.
Tom Money
It's got a nice
Maze
ring to it.
has
But-
rhythm.
And the content makes the name.
So if Tom Mays was available, would you have just gotten Tom Mays? Or you still would have went with Money Mays?
I don't know, I don't know. Maybe it's something in me that is like, a former athlete where you always have a nickname for your athlete. You were like,
Where you were watching,
David Bambino Ruth.
I think it should be Tom 1 million subscriber Black Mays. That would be good.
I mean, because it makes sense, but you don't see Alex Hormozzi doing Alex sells Hormozzi. Like
Alex the author.
like they already you already know, or like
Well, the
Mac
chances
Burger
of
Donald's.
Alex Hormozzi's name not being taken were pretty good. But it wasn't going to be taken.
Yeah.
It's kind of an odd
Or
name.
Mosey.
Hormozzi, Hormoni. Yeah, that's right.
That's cool. So, did you get the domain and everything for it?
I like it. It has rhythm.
It's got a nice ring to it.
how are you spelling it?
But yeah,
Tom,
we can
word money, and then M-A-Y-S.
at the end of the day.
Sound good.
Yeah.
And we got it across all the socials too, so it was
Do you have a middle name?
Awesome.
Dawson is your middle name.
Dustin.
That's a cool name.
See, if that was your first name, you could have been a professional golfer. I have a friend who named his two sons Brooks and Shields. No, Brooks and like Trent. He wanted them to be professional sportsmen. And one is just all he does is golf. Truly, he's like on championship Florida golf team in high school, and the other son is Trace. Trace is his name. The other one is a championship swimmer. He was a championship swimmer, but he felt when he named them that the name meant a lot.
I didn't get a girl whose her name was April.
He didn't date her because she was named
If we got married, it would have been April Mays.
April May. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my last name is Carmona. It looks like car monkey. Like if you translate it, it will be like car monkey. Because Mona, it's the female monkey in Spanish, Mona. So,
Very accurate name.
yeah, so it will be like car monkey or something like that.
Car monkey.
Car monkey. But yeah. And then my second last name is Sanchez. So it was like,
That's original. It's like Alvarez.
yeah, that's pretty common.
Second last name. It's not a gringo thing. I don't know.
You know that you're not American as soon as you say my second last name.
Between Carmona and Sanchez, or is it just Carmona Sanchez?
No, it's just Carmona Sanchez. Well,
Mona Sanchez de Campo.
I mean, my whole name is Moisés Jesus Carmona Sanchez. Two OGs from the Bible and then Carmona Sanchez.
Their shield was Iguana Slayer.
Iguana Slayer.
But if you were in the auto industry and your name was Car Monkey Sanchez, that would be a good YouTube.
That would be, yeah, Car Monkey. Car Monkey dealership. You know? Car Monkey detailing dealership. That
He's a domain.
gonna save it right now, just in case. But yeah, at the end of the day, you can have any good idea. Thank God, in this country, from any good idea, you can make money, you can live out of it. This is the only country in the world where you can do whatever you want and you can still be happy and have money enough to live. But if you don't know how to tell your story, that doesn't matter. So I think that's a perfect moment to get into the topic, which is storytelling.
We're not in the topic yet?
No, it's Tom is like, oh no, I have to leave now. Like time to go. Wife is calling now. But yeah, it's gonna be short. I just want to tell you guys like what's I don't know, like some of the thoughts that we have in storytelling with Carlos. Like I know that you guys are good in storytelling already, but like it's always good to bring the conversation up, right? To keep improving and learn from each other. So I want to tell the story, and it's a lot of times like I'm trying to explain something to my brother, and sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like I try to explain something, and he just doesn't understand. But at the end of the day, it's that he doesn't understand, and I'm not explaining it correctly. You know, the other day I saw my mom like trying to explain to him something, and she was like, oh, but X, X, and X. You know, it was about you have to have good notes. You have to have a good score in school. But if you tell something like that, it doesn't have any power. What if you tell a story about how having good grades helped somebody to improve in life? That's way more powerful. So a lot of the times, if you're trying to explain something to your friend, to your mom, to your wife, your son, daughter, and they don't understand, it's not that they're dumb. It's probably that you're not explaining it correctly. It's that we're not explaining something correctly. We're trying to tell them something, the meaning, instead of trying to simplify a story to understand. And I was just talking about this with some friends yesterday, the difference between reading self-help books that I really like, a lot of like the 7 Daily Habits. All these books are amazing, but the difference between reading these books and literature, that's how you pronounce it, right? Literature is that when you read literature, you're living through another life, so you're learning how to think like them. So that's the power of storytelling. You can literally change somebody's mind. You can literally improve your mind and improve your life through storytelling. So imagine that you're trying to explain something to your wife or your mom and they don't understand anything. If that happens in a YouTube video, understand what you're trying to explain in a YouTube video. What happens if they don't like your video?
They subscribe.
I would love that. But they click, I don't like it, and unsubscribe if they're subscribed. So this is the worst thing that can happen to us on YouTube. And a lot of people like literally are killing their channels, and it's not their fault. They just don't know how to tell stories, how to explain concepts, and then they ask why their channels are not growing. So if that happens in YouTube, that literally will be the worst thing. That's why it's super important to understand how to tell a story, how to teach by telling stories, how to structure your videos, and keep people watching your videos throughout the whole time through attention retention, through learning tricks to retain the attention of people. Here's the thing. We are being affected by these retention tricks every single day. The movies have a lot of retention tricks. They put like attention hungers in every moment in the movie just to keep you attentive. So let's use those type of things to do good and to teach people something valuable, because at the end of the day, everything that we're talking, it's gonna teach them something valuable, right? So we're gonna talk about each of these steps: how to tell a story, how to structure your videos, and then how to keep people attentive with two little tricks: setups and payoff. How to keep attention. But we're gonna do it throughout the next weeks. So this week, we're gonna talk about how to tell stories. I would really like you guys to interview. And Carlos, if like any point you have an idea, please share it too, because I really like the way you tell stories. But yeah, how to explain things. Super easy question, super simple, like basic question, but probably one of like barely people ask themselves this. And I go to college, and I really don't understand how my professors that are professors don't know how to explain things. Because you finish the class and nobody understood anything. So what's the point? Because they go and give the concept, but they don't incorporate stories, they don't use analogies.
So if you can't explain it, then you don't understand yourself.
That's right. If you can't explain it, you don't understand yourself. That's a good point, Bruce. So yeah, at the end of the day, how to tell stories. It's not just how to explain things. It's not by giving meanings, by giving concepts like a dictionary. It's by telling stories. And we see like throughout the whole history, like when we couldn't talk, like the cavemen used to do like body language and sounds and everything to warn others about opportunities or dangers. Then Egyptians, they tell a story through draws. And that's how we know the story of Cleopatra, we know the story of all the Egyptians, because they told the stories through draws. So this is embedded in the whole history of humanity. We are grown by histories. And that's why we need to learn how to tell stories. And now the best speakers in the world do the same thing, stories. Every single influencer that we follow, it's because they know how to tell a story. Some influencers that don't have any topic, it's just their life, they know how to tell the story of their life. And we like that, because for some reason they have millions of followers. So for YouTube, it's more important than anything else. But one of the things that we have found is a framework that really has helped us develop simple stories, but keep attention. And this framework that we like to use in our videos, and as many more stories that you have, the better. We're gonna talk more in the next week about this specifically, how to structure a video. But if you have 3 things you wanna say, for example, the 3 mistakes I made as an Amazon seller. You have 3 points, right? 1 point is different. Add a story in each point to explain what you want to explain.
That's a big mistake. A lot of people start the video with a story, and they get into the 3 points, and they're like, oh, I check the box of the story. But you want to incorporate story of each of the points
Exactly.
of the story. So at the end of the day, you probably are sitting on 4 or 5 stories in a specific video.
So 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, 5 stories. 5 concepts, 5 stories. And what Carlos just said, like people think, oh yeah, I'm gonna add a story in the hook to keep people attentive, and then I'm gonna go to teaching mode. No, never go to teaching mode without being storyteller mode. So that's important, you know. And the framework that we're gonna use right now, that I'm gonna teach you guys, it's to repeat that framework throughout the whole structure of the video. So if you have 3 points, you're gonna have 4 stories. Each story is gonna have the same framework that we're gonna see right now. So once you understand that, because it's not just one story in the video, it's one story per point.
I find that I've always been pretty big into stories.
Uh-huh.
And even before I realized they were important, I thought it was just something I liked.
Interesting.
But then having kids, and my kids are now getting to an age where they can actually communicate and have somewhat of a conversation. I'm seeing, and then looking at other people's kids that I'm around, kids seem to be naturally good at telling stories. Like, there was a car that backfired and scared the crap out of Carlito one day in the morning on the way to school. I knew it was a car that backfired, but Carlito didn't know. He was terrified. He described it, the sound, as the time we were at an Airbnb in North Carolina and the horse named Hammer kicked the side of the barn. And he went on to this thing for 5 minutes, and I feel like recording this. Like, instead of describing this car making this backfiring noise, instead equating it to a horse named Hammer in the mountains of North Carolina kicking the side of the barn. And it's got me on to thinking that at some point kids lose that. I'm not sure what causes them to lose that. Maybe it's like caring more about what people think around you.
School does.
School, but you lose it.
Wow.
Yeah, you lose it. So you're kind of like naturally have it, and then it's eliminated out of you. You need to have some way to bring it back. It's unfortunate because I was like,
Wow.
if he just described, if he just continued to describing things, his perception of things the way he did now, and just kept doing that, I said, you'd be like master of the game. But I know it's not going to happen.
But hopefully you do.
In my business, I have to educate people, about how certain things work in finance, and they can glaze over really easy. So you have to give them some kind of context to understand stuff. And I'm just thinking about, as we're doing this, I'm thinking in my head, because we're talking about what B-roll had. So someone would say to me, why does the Federal Reserve lower and raise interest rates? And I always tell the same kind of story, but now I'm listening to what you're saying and say it better. So imagine the economy is on a speedway. It's you're in Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise. And that car's going really, really fast. That's the economy going too fast. And if Tom Cruise doesn't slow down, he's going to wreck into the wall, which he did in the movie. There's a B-roll, right, for Tom Cruise going into the wall. So what does the Federal Reserve do? Well, they need to tap on the brakes. When they tap on the brakes, they raise interest rates, and that slows down the car and the economy. And that's what I tell people, and then they start like nodding because it was a story. If I told them that the Fed lowers and raises interest rates to control inflation, they'd be like, I get it.
But frankly, what you do can be boring to most people.
Yeah.
But if you can find an interesting way to explain it, like you said,
Yeah.
You're going to be way ahead of me. I worked for my father for about 10 years, and he had a furniture business. Manufactured furniture, we sold retail. Well, my father was a master salesman, and I was too, but we had two distinctly different techniques. He could talk for hours.
His was wrong.
Well, I'll tell you, I was the best that there ever was, but he could talk for hours to someone. And, he would do this, he would lower his voice, and he always said just about this word. He would listen for hours. And, he was excellent salesman. My technique was just straightforward. It's just, what are you looking for, and how soon do you need it, if you're going to finance it, or you're going to pay cash for it. And I found that if I asked them 3, 4, 5 times, that I would get the answer pretty quickly. And but I was good. But my father could tell stories, and he had a lot of stories. He fought in the war. Grew up poor. talk about, all kinds of street fights, travel the world. He's an interesting guy who tells the stories. But, it's interesting though, like one of the techniques which is great to get somebody's attention is to lower your voice. So they really listen in. You can't do it on YouTube, unfortunately, because they'll just keep turning up the volume, whoever's watching it, to see is there something wrong with the audio. It's not the same as when you're talking in person.
What you're saying, kind of, I agree. It's another thing about how it seems to leave kids at some point. It could be school. And I'm wondering if it's also just caring what people think about you, because I've noticed the meetup, again, always been into stories, but the meetup group, the community, has played a big part of my life for the last 11 years. And it's also been around the same time that I've had most of my adult successes, so it's been pretty formative years. And so many different people asking questions, I quickly realized there wasn't just one answer I could give that everybody truly got. But I did want to just have one answer that everybody truly got, so I needed to keep simplifying, and I realized I wound up landing on stories. And the first time I told the story that answered this big problem, it was okay. The more I told it, the less I needed to think about it, like what was coming out of my mouth, and the more I could bring body language in and do all this other stuff. So I feel like story's more than just the words that are coming out. The more you tell it, the more you can tell it, the more you can play with your tone. So if you develop these stump speeches or these go-to stories that you use, you get better at them. And yeah, I don't know. That's just an observation.
Remember we saw Ed Milet in San Diego, and he was definitely, you could tell he had somebody like Bing that was his speech coach. But he's a big, pretty intimidating, muscular guy, kind of even more jacked than Anthony Robbins is, right? And Anthony Robbins is a big dude. And he would raise his voice a lot. And then if you really want to know the secret, and you're just what are you saying? You lean in on your stuff.
Interesting.
He kind of almost had play this little dance with you, kind of bring you in and out of the storytelling and everything.
Yeah.
At the end, when you get excited or when you're also curious, it's how you feel.
Yeah.
I think sometimes in the storytelling, you have to make that viewer feel. So remember that they really liked you because they felt good about your video.
Yeah.
Your video delivered on what it was supposed to be done. So
Yeah.
My clients would say, I really like the fact that you educated me on that, which is better than, we didn't talk about anything about money, I just educated them. And made them feel good about understanding.
Mhm.
So they walked away feeling a little bit more empowered, right? Is that,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
That makes sense.
More empowered?
So
Yeah,
the
it's a
person
superpower.
The person had a speech coach, but he also knew story. He obviously had a speech coach. He also knew story, so you felt like everybody that heard him say that for the first time felt like they were under some sort of spell. Even if you realized this guy got training and all that, you were sucked in.
Just kind of.
Unless you were 3 counties over the week before when he delivered it before, and you were hearing it for the second time. But the more he told it, the better it got.
What do you feel that they felt like they were under a spell?
Because it's a story. That's what a story does. That's why you read a book, you escape. And if you tell the story right and you're communicating with the person the right way, you're there.
Yes.
You're in Ethiopia. You're
100%.
You're there.
100%.
So if you can tell it right,
Yes.
you're there. But I think the first time you tell a story, maybe only a few people go with you on the ride. But the more you tell it, and the more you can be, you less you need to think about the words you're going to use.
Yes.
And the more you can bring in your body, you can really suck in more people.
And then it becomes a superpower.
If you know how to act.
Yes.
If you have acting, you have a speech coach, and you have all these different things, and you leverage story,
Mm-hmm.
You also have to enjoy it.
you do.
You have
But
to.
wouldn't you naturally enjoy it?
Yeah, probably.
Yes. I mean, I enjoy listening to stories. It feels good to listen to a story and fall into it. Yeah. I'm reading a book right now called Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. It's a fiction book. It's the first time I'm actually reading a fiction book because I just wanted to get out of it and I'm loving it because the trauma it's incredible, but it tastes like powers have rules, which is different to any other universe that I've seen. Powers have rules, so they eat certain metals like bronze, like steel, stuff like that, and they get different powers. One of the most powerful is that they can play with people's emotions. But it's not like, oh, I make you want to have anything. I either riot you, so you get like more furious, or I calm you, or I make you more pleasant. So when this is the most powerful because you can get into get the best deal, and you use the power to make the people feel confident to you and give you the deal. So when I'm reading this, I'm like, this power is real. And this is something that we can develop
You want to know
through
something
storytelling.
Tom has when he does his videos? He's always smiling. And that's really important too, especially, I think it really is necessary on YouTube.
Yes.
You can't,
You know, what Adley taught me too was exaggerate your facial expressions, or elevate your voice even more, and make sure that you articulate the way that you speak even more. So you can slow yourself down a little and then speed up a little bit, but articulation of your expressions, like I would never like smile like that at you, but I'm.
Yeah.
no, but you come across as you can trust you. You can be trusted, like you're happy, you're smiling. But people don't want to be watching people who are sullen.
Do you feel like you were more or less like that, though? Because your profession puts you in front of a lot of people, and you probably starve if you didn't come across as trustworthy and friendly and smiling. So you think that's something that's improved because of your career?
Sure. I mean, I think you have to read the room.
Right.
How many financial advisors have I taught that they never engage, not to be stereotypical, but the woman in the room doesn't really say a whole lot. And the man, typically A-type, he's going to run the money. But I've always taught them to say, Mrs. Jones, how do you feel about all this? You know, are you understanding all this? How comfortable are you? You know, do you understand what we're talking about here? Is there anything I can help you with? You know, have you ever bought a stock before? Have you ever been in the market before? How's your college planning for the kids? You know, is any of this stuff, you know, so because what's going to happen when they get in the car? What's the first thing they're going to say to each other?
What do you think about it?
What do you think about it? And if you don't engage with her, what are they going to think about you?
Yeah.
I don't like you. But if you asked about her, where are you from? By the way, I never asked you where you're from.
Mm-hmm.
You know? How many kids you have?
Yeah.
You know, people love to hear them talk about themselves. You know, like the business analogy, you meet a business owner, ask them how'd you get started and shut up for the next half an hour. And then when you leave, go, that was great to meet you, and he's like, man, I really like that guy. And you didn't even really speak. So I think that's a lot of, I guess, just understanding body language, closed. How do you get them to open? You mirror them. You do exactly what they're doing until they open up their arms. You know, so there's, especially when you're talking about their money's even more sacred than their kids.
That's right.
So you have to get them to feel
Mirror them.
trusting. I think just educating about that, educating them.
That's right. Mirror them, and then when you talk with value. That's a good strategy. It's a good strategy. Yeah.
I mean, we can tell so many stories about that as well. Like,
You actually, what you hit on there actually helped me improve that story about the racetrack.
oh, for real?
Yeah, just because I think that, just as I said, you have to exaggerate your facial, you know, intonations in your voice. I think you should probably exaggerate your storytelling.
Mhm.
Because look what Carlos just explained about Carlito. It was not just a horse that smacked the back of the barn, it was a horse named Thunder that smacked the back of the barn. So those little details, hammer, sorry.
Yeah.
Those little details enhance that story even more.
Yeah.
So I think the
Geez, that
details.
was around with a drone.
Yeah.
Did you really?
And the stories?
I had the Mav Mini out there then, and this thing would, I'd bring it up high, and then I'd start coming down on the horse, and the horse would be like, that horse is pretty torqued.
Mm. Yeah.
Well,
And
you know, it's kind of sad when you say that little kids probably lose that.
I've just noticed since then, looking at other, not around a lot of little kids, but like family, people I know who have kids, you get around them and you're like, wow.
But you know
like,
why
that's
they lose it?
great.
They lose it because of school. Because the teacher will cut them off and say, Johnny, give me the answer. They don't want to hear him tell us a long story. Even in here, when someone starts telling a story, you're like, oh, shit, you know?
I even find myself having to say, in case you guys ever heard this before, like, I just bear with me, because I know when I go to explain something now after using stories so much, sometimes it's hard for me just to give a straight answer. I need to stick a story in the front.
Yeah, I've heard that spoon story like 800 times.
Right.
And it gets longer every time you tell it.
Yeah.
Because
Very likely.
Because you're enhancing the story because you've been used to telling the story. And
Right.
you deliver a little bit better each time because you're like, and I had no idea. And they're like, so you kind of almost little subtle hooks in there. So I like the fact that telling the story more, but
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I think also, when it comes to telling a story, it's good to ask questions. What do you think happened?
Yes.
You said, you led up to it and say, yeah, what do you think
Yeah.
happened next?
There's a super famous guy in TikTok right now in Spanish that at the beginning I thought that it was just one video that went viral, but then you see that the guy repeated it because he went viral because he's like in a bar and he's just like in a bar with a beer in front of them literally and talking to a friend and say, that's an amazing question that you asked right there. Why do we pee so much when we drink alcohol? And then he tell a story. Well, but to understand that, you first need to understand how your liver works. So when you drink water, you get minerals, and then you go blah, blah, blah. But when you drink the things that have more minerals, your body wants to expel everything. So that's why and then I thought that was just one time. The guy has like 30 videos, over 5 million views. I'm gonna show it to you later so we can analyze because it's amazing how he gets the craziest random facts and makes completely stories out of them, and he goes super viral on TikTok. Super viral.
All in Spanish.
All in Spanish, no
They're
B-roll.
not great stories.
You can tell it has more flavor in Spanish. No.
do you find that you've been doing your YouTube videos, or you've been doing them, do you find it some of the repetitive, I don't even know how to say this, like repetitive anchors, like in your story that repeat themselves over and over again? It comes to mind the video I showed you about the guy that says, my grandmother told me you only have two things to worry about in life. And then it comes back and he says you only have two things to worry about in life. Have you found that those have been more successful when you repeat some of those same deliveries again and again?
I'm not crystal, I have a lot to say about that video, but so that I don't not answer what you're asking, can you be more clear? What do you mean by that?
You didn't see it. You didn't see that, no.
So in this video, this guy stands up and he says, my grandmother told me there are two things in life. You're either going to be healthy or you're not.
I see.
Right. If you're not healthy, or if you're going to be healthy.
If you're healthy, you have nothing to worry about.
And he just keeps going. The black guy.
But if you're sick,
Yes, the black
you
guy.
got two things to worry about, and he does that. He's
Keeps on coming
a
back to two
comedian.
things.
He's a comedian, pastor, yeah. But are you asking the framework that he used, that you see that and you realize how quickly you could adapt it to something else?
I'm not talking about using his framework. I'm talking about the fact that he kept on coming back to something comedic, which was the anchor of that whole thing, which he kept on coming back to say, you only got two things to worry about. If you got this, great. But if not, you only got two things to worry about. If you got that, then you're good. But if not, you got two things to worry about. So that, he kept on coming back to that same anchor phrase. Have you done that in a video to make that?
I've never gone back to
Does that make
three
sense?
things.
Am I asking you?
Three things. It's like, I've never done that. I can say this though, that video, I've looked around. Apparently he's not the first person to come up, he didn't invent that. But he's the first storyteller, comedian who did it. And now his stuff buries the original time that it was put together. And the only thing that's different in the other one that he does is he takes it to hell, original or extra crispy. And that's going into what he adapted it to fit his religious views, heaven and hell. So what that hit on for me is I wanted to get up and deliver that in Toastmasters. And I wanted to adapt it or to use the same thing in the meetup several times. I'd seen it for a long time, it's been on my radar. And I didn't, because I'd be like, that would be false of me, that's copying. First of all, most people, when you showed it, they had never seen it.
Is it crazy?
Right.
You saw all the reactions.
But when you see it,
you imagine everyone must have seen this. And then, what's up? Battery just went.
I'll give an example of what actually tell me this.
So, I'm not a fan of shorts. I'm not a huge fan of shorts. I think they have their place, short videos, but I find them to be a lot more complicated than long form videos for a bunch of reasons. Like just say the 30 videos that we're doing for a month, like 30, that's 30 scripts, 30 ideas, 30 edits, 30 captions, versus one long form video, which is really just one semi-painful script, one bit of editing, one file, so it's, I feel like I can go on and on. I know you don't agree with me, but like I think short form video is massively more complicated, and the reward for the work is not where long form is. Having said that, there's a place for that, growing an audience and, okay. But we've created about 1,000 short form videos over the last, with Marty alone, about 600. And what I can tell you is that doing those sort of videos, like if I was to do that video on a short, I'd get 4 million views.
Yes.
I get 4 million. If I do the egg one,
1.5 million.
1.5 million views. Like 1940.
I want to hear what you're going to do. I want to hear what you're going to do in Toastmasters. I want to hear what you're going to do because you're going to use the framework.
1948.
Come over that day.
Yeah.
You have to come.
I want to hear what the.
To me, you know what, to me, it was like a one man who's on first.
No, I was going to apply it to business. Yeah.
I'm going to apply it to finance.
Yeah. But you could apply it to anything. The thing is, shorts, that video for me was kind of like the nail in, I just killed off the side of me that's like worrying about somebody think I'm copying them. Because I've gone out of my way to create original stuff.
I never saw it before.
You
Came to somewhere?
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I'm done with it. Afterwards, you know what? And I'll say, hey, by the way, so-and-so created this thing, I first saw it. I'm not gonna try to be like, I invented this thing, but I'm done with seeing this on the shorts, and I'm going after some of these creators that I've been following for years and looking at their stuff and looking at Alvarez on the social side, which is not really something I'd ever felt was worth my time. None of them came up with any of that.
Have you ever tried
Like,
to?
they didn't invent any of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Even no.
So I'm done.
Right.
That video and seeing everyone's reaction to it, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
It's wild, isn't it?
I could have delivered this thing a long time ago. I probably didn't need, not that I would do that, but I probably didn't need to tell people that it's not original. No one would have known. They never would have known. And it would have impacted, so, yeah.
So what I want to ask you, like, I did a short video and it was about if you cut out these 3 things, you can become a millionaire. So stop shopping at Starbucks. You want to be a millionaire, right? Stop going to 7-Eleven buying energy drinks and going to McDonald's. You want to be a millionaire, right? So that's what I meant about like the repetitive, I guess, I don't even know what you call it, an ending of a hook. It's up. Do you do that? Have you done that in YouTube's to continue to hammer home that point almost as if it was another hook? To almost like validate what they're saying and to validate what you got them involved in the first place for? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, you mean about the like resource that we have? Like that's a resource, like to repeat things.
Repeat the deliverable. Like if you're going to tell people you can become a millionaire by selling on Amazon, and you start going through all these different steps and different stories. At the end of the story of that one specific segment, you say
You want to be a millionaire.
you want to be a millionaire
Because you want to be a millionaire.
What is that school of thought that goes around, they teach you to repeat the same thing and like subliminally get?
That's a resource. That's a
What's that called?
that's a grammar. Like that's
It's an
a.
organization that's all about that.
I'm just
I don't
wondering if you guys
You're
have
like
done that in a
subliminally-
video.
So, I've never thought of doing it. I think the reason, it's not what you're asking, but I think the reason 2 works better than 3 requires you to think more. 2 is yes or no, black or white. That's a very easy thing to follow, but repeating the message, so you want to be a millionaire, right? And that,
I think it's a good resource.
I could see doing a presentation on profitability.
Are we talking about Tom's video that he did?
No,
Is that-
you're talking about doing it as a
I
framework.
did do a video, but it was a short, but I'm asking
No,
if you've done that. Like, I came back in, I'm like, hey, stop ordering Domino's pizza. You know, you can't.
You wanna be a
sandwich.
millionaire.
You're not gonna be a millionaire, you wanna be a millionaire, right?
It's good. I like it.
And then
That's
I
good.
said,
That's
you don't
wisdom.
wanna stop going to Starbucks, get out of the cure, you wanna be a millionaire, right? So I'm just wondering if you've done that in a YouTube, longer form, with those same, I guess I'll call them anchor hooks.
I think I haven't done it yet.
No, we haven't done it.
I haven't done it yet, but it's a good resource. I have a professor of writing that, like he mentioned about how that helps to keep retention. You know, like people like you repeat certain things.
That's what I'm saying.
You want to do X, but don't X, don't. So you repeat the same thing, and
Once
people.
again, don't do this,
Mm-hmm.
do this instead.
That's a strategy.
It feels good in the brain. It feels good in the brain.
Lose.
The loops, I
Yeah,
guess I
so
would
you're
do that.
trying to go on with the story.
Okay, a loop.
Yeah, you wanna be, and then the audience, they start predicting, and they know something's coming later.
Because don't you like when you watch a comedian who says something funny, and then later on he brings it up again?
Uh-huh.
Pat Flynn did that.
He brings it up again, it's a repetitive.
Pat
loop.
Flynn did that,
Well,
yes.
didn't Pat Flynn do that in Idaho when he said, bad binder behavior, bad binder behavior, bad binder behavior?
Good finding here.
And what did we write inside the book? I asked him if they could. Everyone said, bad binder. He says, no. Right, so that's what you're being, like,
Exactly.
right, he used that. I can see where it would be used, but I've never used, I don't think I've used it. I may have used it when I was talking about trying to emphasize a point with the group about everyone's trying to say, I want to hit 7 figures gross sales so they can join some of these groups. And it's like, should you focus on gross sales or should you focus on profitability? And then I give a bunch of examples that you want a big number though, right?
Yeah.
A big number. You can sell
I'll-
1,000 TVs from Costco, flip them on eBay, and you'd be $1 million seller. You'll have lost a few $1,000s that year, but you'd be able to show 7 figures. You want to be gross sales, you want to be profitable. I can give a bunch of examples that do that. I may have done it. I maybe only drug it out like 3 examples.
Yeah.
I can see where that would work.
That's also a very
You're
good.
getting someone to physically
It's a technique.
repeat and nod. It's a technique that I'm trying to remember that's taught. There's an organization that teaches it.
Set them up for what you're gonna come up with.
And what you're gonna come up with, they're doing it like, ah.
And that's why that video does so well.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Did you hear the door?
You only have 2 things worried about.
Yeah, that and I can see also how it helps retention, like memory, increases memory. Like for example, stories increases memory like 90% or something like that. So if you tell a story, it increases more of the memory than if you just tell a concept. So I guess that one also gets people remember what you were telling them.
I think what it does is it reminds you as you're listening to him or whatever video that is, that there's still more to come.
Yeah.
Yes, there's still more to come.
There's still more to come. I haven't landed a plane yet. I haven't given
going
you the
there.
whole thing. Hold on, there's 2 more things.
Mm-hmm.
There's, you want to be a millionaire, right?
That's right.
I want to be a millionaire. What else you got? You know, kind of thing. What else you gonna tell me?
That's right.
So I think it helps the retention. It helps you retain that person, just keep them involved.
Yeah.
I bet you that works.
I like that. I like that because at the end, it's one of the other like resources that we have to tell good stories. We never get to use all of the amazing resources that we have in our language to communicate ideas and stories. Like for example, the framework that we have, it's just one simple framework, the most simple thing that you can find in your life. Yet we don't use it all the time. Yet we forget sometimes the most important parts of it.
So
Did you give the framework?
Not yet.
I was just saying that the reason.
Because we have talked about. Let's go to
I was
the.
waiting for it, I was like.
Yeah. No, I haven't. Did I miss it?
It's called,
Let me-
one of these, it's called the ladder technique, the yes ladder. It says this technique builds momentum toward a major dream.
Dame la clase, papá, te la bonita.
That's what you do in webinars,
Minor,
presentations.
easy requests. Right. So you get them to.
When you get them to nod their head yes, then get them to ask them to money, objects in motion, stay in motion.
But it's something a little bit different though, because it's not getting the audience to say yes. You're repeating something to remind them why they were there in the first place, and you're telling them that there's still more to come.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't delivered the full message yet.
That's right.
I didn't
That's
see
right.
the end of the video. What happened at the end of the video? What he?
He finished with a joke.
You just
Well,
said-
people knew what he was gonna say at the end.
you
Well,
just said-
I can see, but.
Are you going to heaven or are you going to hell? You're going to heaven.
Oh,
You're going to heaven. You're going to hell. You got 2 questions.
And I was like, oh my God, what are the 2 things you gotta worry about in hell?
What do you gotta worry about now? You wanna be original, ask for Christmas.
Yep, that's right. It's one of the resources that we have. For today, I just wanted to give like a quick thing that we have used, and sometimes we just forget. This is one of the simple things in life, and we just forget to even use it. As you guys said, like that's a recension. Like that's one technique to retain, to tell a story. The ladder. You tell a ladder of stories, of actions that happen consecutively. So then you give an analogy, you give a value. You're giving an outcome.
I think it's interesting, what I'm observing here is how similar traditional sales are to a successful YouTube video. You're getting people to agree to what you're saying on the YouTube video. Of course,
Educating with stories.
you're educating, but, and of course you also.
Or entertaining.
You're keeping your interest. Yes, it's entertaining, you're keeping your interest.
But is it edutaining with stories?
The entertainment. So, I really believe everyone can be a storyteller. I think it's beat out. I think we all may start as kids being the storytellers. It gets beat out or tricked out or it goes away. But that as adults, you can almost instantly know if someone's more receptive to it.
Yeah.
An example would be like whenever we talked about stories, one of my closest friends, Ramon, who's around, Ramon will quickly, he'll almost panic if you think the story topic comes up, and he'll go to anything but story. He'll say, I'm not good at stories. I have an accent. I mean, he'll do everything. And one day we were looking at memes, and it was, you see a baby in a diaper with a bunch of rain, and the baby's like this, and it says, thank God it's Friday, right? It's silly stuff. And we went through a bunch of them, and they were okay. But then we got to one that didn't have anything, and there was no text on it. And I immediately blurted out, like, this is easy, like, just blurted out, like, this would be the title that would fit this thing. I could think of 10, based on that picture. Ramon froze. Couldn't think of anything. He goes, it's a rabbit with a wolf behind it. Or another one was a bunch of dogs running out an open door in the house, of the house and stuff like that. And I was like, who let the dogs out? And just different things. Ramon froze.
When you see eggs, yeah.
Right. And I think that might be like since then I've wondered if that's like a good warm-up exercise too, is just looking at pictures and say, caption this.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a visual prompt that you could do.
Yes.
One that's easy for most guys, ironically, even if you think you can't, is the whole one, like, woman reaching up to the top shelf, wearing yoga, like maybe some yoga pants. She's got a nice, every guy can caption that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There's a game, a card game that is amazing. Dude, is what's meme, something like that. I don't know if you've seen it. It's super famous. What's the meme? So it gives you that. It gives you a meme, like a face or like a dog or like a cat doing something, and then you have to picture it, and then you have to tell everybody like when you X, and most times it's hilarious. But everybody have to come up with something, and the more creative you are, like the more people laugh, and that's how you win, literally by making fun.
There's a really fun TV show called Whose Line Is It Anyway? And they used to have something called a prop game. And they would give you something, and you had to pretend it was a prop for something. So if it was a broomstick, for example, someone would, go under it like it was, whatever that. The limbo, whatever. Or someone would pretend it was a javelin or something like that. But it does get your creatives going when you use something like a prop game for someone like Ramon to do that.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Well, guys, at the end of the day, yes, we have said many times today, like it's all about how to tell stories. That's literally cheat code in life. It's like having the path of the game. What I want to share is just like one of the simple things that we have seen before, and it's just a simple framework. If you want to teach something about your YouTube, in social media, you usually want to tag to you a few years ago, right? So you have gone through a lot of problems in your life. And these problems are not something bad. These problems were things that help you improve, right? They give you a lesson. So think about story. We like to do it like this, as a circle. It's a circle that comes back. The first part of the circle, it's going to be the problem that you have. So let's say for example, one time I went with my friends in a kayaking trip, but we were super manly and we say we're gonna go in a survival trip, so we're not gonna take any food. So we went in a kayak trip that you have to go is in the 10,000 islands by the Everglades. You kayak in 2-3 hours until you get to an island, and then we wanted to stay there for 2 days. We say we're not gonna take anything, only water, and of course, alcohol. But we were afraid that someone needed some vitamins and protein, so we decided to buy a lot of protein bars. But that was the only thing we got, protein bars in case someone needed. We started going, we put everything in the kayaks, we started going, we get to the island. And when we get to the island, we started putting everything and we were like, bro, I'm kind of hungry. We have to go fish to get food and eat something. But we really needed energy. So we had, hey, bring the protein bars. Everybody was like, where are the protein bars? Find the protein bars. We didn't bring the protein bars. So there we were, 4 p.m., almost 5 p.m., like 1 hour to like fish as much fish as we could, or we were gonna starve that night, like we were gonna like be hungry because we didn't bring the protein bars. So we were in an island with no signal, no food, not anything, and we were hungry. So that's how you set up a problem.
Did you catch any fish?
I'm gonna go there. The first, this is the circle. The first part of the circle is a problem. Then you have an action. What we did, we went ahead and we said, okay, we're gonna fish. We started fishing. My friend got a fish, and the first time that I got it, I was like, it was a catfish. So it's really hard to eat them because you have to take them over and because they're poison. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna kill him so we can put it in the kayaking and he doesn't beat us. He doesn't bite us. I'm gonna try to kill him, and instead of hitting at the face, I hit at the line, so the fish went over and we lost the fish. I said, bro, let's pray the Our Father. Because in the Our Father, there's a sentence that says, give us our daily bread. And we really need to pray that day. So we prayed the whole Father. It was a miracle. We started catching fish and fish and fish. We got 8 fish. We got 8 little fishes. That was enough to eat for us. We spent the whole day there, and that's the action, right? And then the outcome. We got the fishes. Finally, we could eat something. We didn't starve. Happened the 2 days. The next day, we went ahead. We got the fish again. We're coming back. We put in everything. We set in the camp. We taking everything off the camp. We put it in the kayaks again. And when we were putting everything in the kayak, in the last part of the kayak, we saw a bag. And I saw the bag, I grabbed her, and I was like, here are the protein bars. When we were finishing. So we didn't need it at the end, but we had the protein bars. So it was a mistake, we brought them, but we didn't see them. So that's the outcome. It's easy. A story starts with a problem, we'll go with an action, and then the solution is the same solution at the beginning. You basically come back to your story. Because sometimes what could happen is that you start with a problem, you go with an action, and you ended up doing something different. I can tell you, in the action, for example, I tell you, we went to fish, we lose the fish, but I came back to the same beginning of the problem. So we have to look at it as a circle. You have the problem, the action, and then the outcome. Say it will look something like this. I don't know if we can see it here. Yeah. You have the problem, one day, X happened, you have the action, so I decided to X, and then the outcome. And then I found the problem, I found the solution for that problem.
A lot of times there, what you can do is you can add, using that basic framework, you can add points. You can raise the stakes. I think the description is called each one of those points. So at the beginning, you raise the problem, and they went to fishing. Well, when they go to fish, if you want to raise the stakes, nobody brought line. Or they did fish and they got the fish, but they realized it had been raining for 2 days and they were banking on getting firewood, but all the wood is wet. You can keep raising the stakes and lowering them. So you're basically hooking somebody up. Oh my God, how can it get worse? And and then bring it better. So you can, usually you can do that 2 or 3 times per phase in the story.
Tension and release.
Tension and release. And that's gonna be the topic of next week.
Right.
Tension and release. Because in the same story, and that's your video. You want to start your video with a problem and finish your video with a solution to that problem. But throughout your video, you have different points. And as I mentioned you guys, in each point, you have to add a story. So that's why a video is so complicated, because you have to think about an overall story and then little stories throughout the video so people keep attention. Thank you, Carlos. That's
And
subscribe and come next week, because that's going to be the topic of next week.
Story, you can use that same technique with the protein bar. Da-da-da-da, you got the protein bar. And then da-da-da-da-da, the protein bar. And then at the end, and then I reach to the back, and then what did I find?
The protein bars.
The Pringles. No, just kidding.
The Pringle. The Coke Zero.
One of the stories I did last week, when I was just breaking down different stories that I told, does that. I mentioned that we accidentally ordered some items that were counterfeit items. And then when we realized they were counterfeit items, we could have just ended the story there. But in reality, we decided what's the bare minimum we can do to sell, to just recoup our money back. So we added tension.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So yeah.
The humidor story, the
Humidification device story.
yeah.
Yes, sir. So yeah, guys, that's the simple thing. Like, think about your video like that, with a story, and then, because that's also how you create credibility to your people. Like, for example, Carlos, every time that he tells a story, it's about how he solved a problem in Amazon, and that problem made him a better Amazon seller. So now he has more credibility, because I might have the same problem that you have. Like, a lot of people had the same problem that Carlos had one time. So they come and they ask Carlos, and Carlos help them. But don't be afraid of showing your problems that you have. Even if, because here's the thing, they are. Because here's the thing, the outcome doesn't even have to be positive. It can be a bad outcome.
Well, the most amazing
You need
thing
to have
about
an
your
outcome.
stories, Carlos, in my opinion, is the fact that you had a lot of existential threats, but in the end, you were able to overcome all of them and move ahead, because most people would give it up.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, thank you guys. Remember, always, to start with a problem, find that solution, little examples throughout the moment, and finish with an outcome that relates to the beginning of the problem. So people feel that they received the gift that they were waiting for. Don't forget to give the outcome and pay off what you promised at the beginning. Next week, we're going to talk about how to do that throughout your video and throughout your conversations and throughout your life.
Yeah. What's a good ending line for a video? Like, your sign off, what's a good?
I see your
Way
next.
the cookie code.
I don't think you should have a formal sign-off.
I tried one, and then Carlos beat me up. Remember what I did?
Which one was it?
Like, con mucho cariño, te veo en la siguiente. Remember that one?
A lot of times when you do those like trailers, with official line down, everybody just pops off because they understand that's what you're doing. So you want to end as abruptly as possible.
I just did it.
That's more of an old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a sign off.
Yeah, you're not like Johnny Carson, signing off your video at the end of the night. I mean, you're just kind of like, now you know how inflation works. The end.
Yeah.
Or now you know how.
It's more important to close the loop versus having.
Yes.
I would say something else with story though that's been huge for me. That is a story bank. Like I can't imagine that I went so long without these. And it's just have whatever works for you on your phone, because you're usually going to have your phone with you, some kind of cloud-based device. And just as you're going through your day, I think every day I come across something that's story-worthy. And at the moment, you're kind of like, that would just be cool to put in a story, but I don't yet know the story that it would most fit in, or I don't know how this would best describe it. But if I don't put it down and like where
Yeah.
it was when it happened or something, I'll never be able to really go back to it. But having a bank, like I use Notion for mine, but having a bank to go into, I now have a hook bank, a story bank, it's grown so large.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Like, I think that's one of the best advices that you have given me, because Now, like I'm in a conversation. Oh, that's cool. I put it in my hook in my story banks,
Yeah,
and
it's-
that's
Oh my God, it would be painful to lose it. And it's so, it's not something, what I think is really good too is it's not something that's AI-able. Like,
no.
How do you use it? Do you, before,
Yeah.
like before the Saturday meetings, do you go back and kind of go over it?
no, I need to, I think Tom's the same way, but like, I have ideas, too many ideas. So I have enough ideas to put myself out of business 10 times over every day, just by the sheer amount of stuff that comes in. And if I keep it in my head, and I'm gonna keep cycling, I'll just keep it on repeat, and it's not effective.
So it's like a mind dump.
It's a dump, it's a place to
Right,
put
so
it.
yeah, this mind dump, this brain dump where you can put it. If I know it's there and it's safe and it's organized, then I don't need to do that. It frees me, it gives me permission to instantly let it go. So I have it there, and then it'll be like, okay, I may never come back to it. I may never use it. But I'll also more than likely come across something else that I'll be like, oh my God, that with that, or that's in the same family as that. I'll totally put it together.
And so then now that you documented it, you kind of remembered it. Like they say in school, if you write it down.
It does.
Yes,
And then
it's-
the more I flesh it out, or like the more sometimes I'm reading something, sometimes it's just somebody in the car beside me. Miami, you just see like Miami-isms, something that's happening in the world, or the one that I bring up a lot just to show like how shocking and how weird they can be. They don't have to be weird. Is the one where I'm at an LA Fitness, 5 a.m. and I decide that I want to get warm before working out, and I go in their sauna, and a guy walks in naked. You know how small the saunas are at LA Fitness, right? Have you been inside? I mean, they're tiny.
Yeah.
It's his birthday suit.
Like-
Bathroom. This guy's in his birthday suit. I'm with a headset sitting down here. I see it and I'm kind of like, well, I guess this is a thing, you know what I mean? It's kind of close. Like he's not even to you. Like imagine you're the wall, he's standing. So that's, and then I'm there and I have a headset on and you just start hearing, the guy's doing jumping jacks.
Oh my
The
God.
guy starts doing jumping jacks. This guy's nuts are just like, and I'm not looking at the nuts, but I was kind of like, I didn't know what the fuck to do.
Oh my God.
You're in the Shamu zone.
Right,
Splash
yeah.
zone.
I'm in the splash zone, right? But like, I put that there.
Is this legal?
What am I supposed to do in this situation? When you go
Join.
Some people that I told this to, they go, well, you're supposed to be naked in a sign. You're supposed to do like action.
What?
So I said, I was doing it. But like, that's a cool piece of content that you can create that has a great hook built into it. You're never gonna forget it.
I mean, you can always like say, so if you're ever uncomfortable like this,
Yeah.
that would be an easy, sign.
That's right.
The guy's doing
That's right.
naked jumping jacks, facing me. But then again, should he not face me? Like, where's your etiquette there? Like,
Yeah, would it be any better?
Yeah.
would it be any better?
That's like a comedic, that's a whole comedic routine. You can,
Right.
you
Yeah.
can do it.
But isn't that some of what we're doing? Like,
So I
we're
had
telling
two
a
choices,
story, there's
two
two comedies.
things.
Yeah.
You either join him, or I can be.
I was gonna ask
If
you
I join you-
whether or not.
Bueno.
Any of your
Thank you guys. I'm gonna shut up the live and we can keep the conversation. See you next week.
your solo shorts, whether you would ever attempt to do a purposely